Hello, it's me, James Law Jr., and this is JLJ Media, the Studio City Aftershow. I'm trying to probably get some buttons stuff going over here. How are you guys? Yes, I want to first say thank you for tuning into this, whether it's listening or watching. I will do reviews for the new episodes. They're out on Amazon Prime. You can go watch them there now. They're all out, and I'm going to do that. I've been taking care of some business, haven't done it yet, but I will be doing that. But everybody's been asking me about the episode I'm in. So that was about time I finally let you know kind of how it went and the whole shebang. I am part of an interview that's out there. I'm a small part of an interview by a great reporter. She was great. I love her, named Angela. That's out there. You can read. But now I'm gonna give you a little more of my story of being in Studio City, season two's episode two. Two. I love it. So first of all, Sean Kenny and I are friends. Met him about 7 years ago when he was doing at the time, was he on General Hospital? No, I think it was both. When he was on both the last, no, it was General Hospital. He was AJ. We became friends. And then he's always had other projects. Sean came and stayed booked and busy. And he makes work for himself too. He's out there working hard like I am. I think that's what it is. We're guys around the same age who work very hard. And a lot of people like him. They like him. I don't hear anybody say anything bad about him. He's somebody that everybody just loves. And we just hit off. We really hit off. He's a super cool dude. And so over the years, we always support each other. I'm talking like true support, meaning off camera, on camera, off mic, on mic. How are you doing? What's going on with you? Do you need anything? Off camera during COVID, he was totally, always invite me down to when he was in Palm Springs and checking in on me, see how I'm doing. And trust me, back then there was not a lot of work going on. It was just us sitting at home and stuff. And so I asked him to come to my shows for things. He does. I promote his works. So you'll see season one, of course, a huge hit. Big fan of the show. Started the after show. Him and many of the people on there are my friends. So I want to make sure I get that kind of backstory so that we're friends. Me, him, Michelle, his wife, who I love immensely, and the dog. But we're friends. So that's just kind of off camera. We're friends. We do stuff for each other. He's somebody who sees value in me and my work, and I see value in his. And the thing about Sean is smart. He's like me. We both know to hold close to us those who will support us. Who literally will support us, lift each other up, go the extra mile to promote some of your work. In this town, sometimes it can be very hard to find that. There are folks who say they will and they don't, or just anything can happen. And that's what I like about him. And Sean's he says what he means. He is. He really does. And he has great stories. He's a great interview, folks. If you're a host watching me on here, get him on your show because he has great stories. He's a great storyteller. He has wisdom. He's lived a life that it wasn't perfect. I know a life that wasn't perfect. That's even better because it just makes him so much richer in terms of being a great guest. So I say, and he has books and everything. And just book him on your shows. You will not be sorry. So all that. So one night. Oh, actually, it was later afternoon. I get a phone call, and Sean Gannon. And my brother and I were just talking, and he's here in this room. We were talking. It's like a Saturday. It was my day off. He's like, James, I have a role for you. I want you to be in Studio City. Because he always said he's going to be in Studio City. He always said, I'm going to put you in there at some point. Get you in there. I was like, sure, okay. Just whenever you're ready. And he got a role for you. Okay, sure. And he gave me the address, the call time, everything. So I have to go. So now where I live in Inglewood is about 30 miles where I had to go, Canoga Park. It was at Kevin Hart. Yes, that Kevin Hart Studios where they were filming. So he secured that. Great sets. Nice little complex. It was really cute. And so I had to get really early, kind of put myself together. My call time was like 11 or something. Now, when you do these shows, not necessarily you'll be the first, second person. No, you may sit there all day long before you go on. Now, mind you, I had no sides or anything. I had no sides, meaning I had no script. I was going to play a host. I knew that much, and I think he said I was going to come after him or something. Like it was kind of like we were going to talk further when we saw each other. And I got to set. First, I went to the wrong place. It was a little confusing. Went to the wrong place, but actually I was around the corner from the right place. After that confusion, so my buddy Justin Torkelson, who's on the show, who's another friend of mine, I collected along the way. We collecting friends. It's funny how some of them, you meet them, they're great. They're strictly just interviews. You see them when you see them, it's very friendly and excited. And then some you actually become friends with. I've been to Justin's house. I left him and his wife. Another great guy who should be working more. He also is in my Easter Hair project, which is an audio series. You check it out on all your audio drama needs on any audio platforms. I was very honored to have him on the show. I have an Emmy winner on the show. And our show, Easter Hair, is a big hit for us. So he did that. But anyway, we're friends. Another one, we're friends. And but he greeted me first, and I got to see him. And then literally walk in, and it's just like Carolyn Hennessy, who I know, and Lee Melgar, I haven't seen in a long time, and Tristan Rod. And they were like, we saw you on the call sheet. It was so sweet of them. We saw you on the call sheet. We were so happy. James Lott Jr., they were so happy. And for me, it's a weird thing. Like I sit on here and I'm dropping names, and so and so, but I'm really not bougie about that. It's like I happen to be friends with them. But trust me, I'm in awe of them going, these are like, Emmy-winning actors who just, everybody knows who they are, and they know who I am. And it's like, it's so crazy. I watched you all these years, and now you know who I am. Carol and I go way back to about 7 years also. Gracious, always gracious, and wonderful and funny. And so I get to see everybody. And I see Timothy Woodward Jr., who's a director, and Sean, of course. And a lot of my friends were there. Anthony Chirk was there, who was in the episode. And so I met the girl, Jax Dallas, who was my co-host on the show, but she was really nice, she was really sweet. Everybody was really sweet. And I guess the thing, everybody was there. They had craft services, we had food and coffee and sodas, and everything was there. And we were relaxed, and we were talking, people were learning their lines, and I got to watch their geniuses while they were filming, watching Timothy Woodward's work as a director, putting it all together, seeing the actors Carolyn Hennessy and Sean Kanan and Justin Torkelson, and they're all they're so good. They're so good. And the writing, Michelle Kanan and her staff of writers, they come with the funniest stuff and the most dramatic stuff. And one of it's a top-notch operation. So, but for me, it was funny because I'm sitting there. I brought my famous purple suit that everybody loves. I decided everybody loved it. They're glad I brought it, and I still wasn't sure what was going to happen. What I was going to say. Briefly, Sean and I talked. We caught because he was busy filming and doing everything. He's producing, filming, doing everything else. Also, my buddy Matt Hanvey was there doing some PA work. He was there too. But no, so it was like, okay, so he comes like, James, this is what we're going to do. We're going to just like, you know how to do this. You're a host. You're going to attack me for ageism. Because Sean and I off camera, we are talking about ageism in Hollywood and how, because there was a scene last season that Sean did on the show that was so quiet. It was a quiet scene that we talked about on this show. We talked about it when I had him on. That was so quiet, but such a nod to all of us who are getting older. It was a mirror scene, and and the product scene. It wasn't a huge major thing in terms of exposition of it was important to the story, but it wasn't like this huge, gigantic moment. It was a quieter moment that, Sean looked good for his age, that. I think I look halfway decent. But like that, but still, age is a thing in Hollywood for men and for women. It's just as you get older, they see you differently and treat you differently. And so Sean, I talked about that. It was such a great feeling to see him come to me and say, let's play with that. And that's when I realized there's going to be improv. So here I am, sitting there going, I wasn't nervous. I was just kind of like, at first, I was kind of like, okay, well, I'm good. Because I was sitting there, we didn't know when I was coming on. So I was sitting there and I was watching our operation. I was watching how everything moves and works, absorbing it on direct. I direct also. So I was watching an Emmy winning pro direct, which is Timothy Woodward Jr. And I was thinking, okay, I guess I guess I'll just trust Sean. Anyway, I was just gonna look at him and Michelle. They both just like, here's what you're gonna do. We want this kind of happen. You know what to do. You're a star. You know how to do this. And they were very complimentary, very pumped me up to do this. And I was like sitting there going, okay, I'm gonna act opposite Sean, I guess. I guess it was hitting me kind of like, I'm gonna act opposite Sean Kanan. Oh, okay, I'm gonna act opposite him. Okay. Like, and so then it was like maybe 4 or 5 hours later, it was my turn to go up now. And we went to, I guess, sit in Kevin Hart's actual chair, and he does a podcast from or something. And it was a cool, very cool set. So you can go online and see the sets. They're very cool. A show, a very cool set. And it was Jax Dallas, who I got to meet. She's a wonderful actress. She's hilarious. She's hot, everything. Sean Kanan sitting next to me. Lily Melgar's off stage, and we actually literally off stage, but she's in our scene. And she has one of the best lines afterwards. You have to watch the episode for that, of the whole series. But she's off screen and off stage. And so there's just the three, it's just me and Jax. And literally, Jax didn't know anything was going on. He was like, he called us in. Of course, we said, yeah, I'll do it. But he was just like, James, I really want you to come after you for either. This is your podcast, like this nondescript kind of podcast. You do. And I just looked at Sean. I'm like, you know what? I looked into his eyes and I just said, I'm going to trust him. Sean and I know how to do this. We've done so many interviews together over the years. We know how to talk to each other. And we did talk a little bit. We always talk a little bit before shows, but it's like I said, it wasn't a major talk, but we just kind of, we have a little bit of a shorthand. We know. I mean, I used to ask him, what do you want from me? And I'll just give it to you. And that's kind of how I am with people. And we have something in sync. And Timothy was just so welcoming and so supportive too. He was like, trust me, when your director's like, yes, because I've worked on I've done other shows, and you never know what you're going to get as a director. And he was so like, you're a star. It's James Jr., but you're a star. He pumped me up. He knew what to do. He was very like, that's great. Let's try this again. That's great. So I'm going to tell you that I'm in half the episode, basically, right? The second half of the episode. I literally got to be up close. Sean was like right here, up close. I got to witness Sean Kanan's genius. He is an amazing actor. I'm not just saying because he's my friend. He is a good actor. I have friends who are okay actors. And I have friends who are like, oh, but he's a good actor. And he looked in my eyes, and then Jax, I have to give her credit too, because we both decided, okay, she just came in with her zingers. I had to play off of her and him. And so it's funny. So we shoot a piece, and they say, okay, we need more of this. Can you start from here, James? Can you? The hardest thing for me was placement, because I know it's a camera. They had cameras in weird spots. And so the way I was talking it didn't feel natural. So kind of like this. And I don't talk that way. So it's like I had to keep positioning me a certain way. I was having a hard time positioning. But that was the hardest part, was the positioning. But other than that, Sean fed off of me. I fed off of him. And what you see is what's on screen. There was one part where we did it the first time, and I was like, it's missing something. Timothy's like, it's missing something. We need something, blah, blah. He's like, he says a couple of words. And Sean goes, okay, I got something. Give me 1 second. And Sean had like a little piece of paper, like something like this. And he turns away from me, and he's writing it. And then he just looks at it. And I shit you not. He looked at it, it seemed like 2 seconds. I'm sure it was longer than that. But it's like he looked at it and went, okay, let's go. And he gives, on our second take, he has a rant that wasn't in it, that we didn't have planned. It was just something in there. And that rant is what you see on screen. But when he does it and what he says, well, you have to watch the show, of course. But when he says about, you should understand about diversity. I'm a diversity, and you should understand that, both of you guys. And why do you hate America, James? I want to laugh so hard. The crew were all like, oh my God, that's brilliant. Sean tried, his character, Sam, turn tables on us. So I kept going, we've been just for a long time. And you're older, and that, we just kept kneeling him. And we both know what it feels like. But when he did this thing, it was, to me, I was like, that's genius. And I was like, And I guess apparently my reaction, which you see on screen, it kind of was like, I didn't, because I know what he wrote. I had no idea what he wrote. I saw him writing, but I don't know what he wrote. And I was like, okay. And I look over to my car, and she picks up, like, the three of us did such a great job together. It was, and then when they cut to Lily, because they did her scenes. She is hilarious. Oh my goodness, she has some of the best, like, her facial expressions. I like it's so good. I'm laughing now just thinking about it. So I got that opposite my friend Lily Melgar, who I've known for several years. Also, it's all completely just blessing upon blessing upon blessing upon blessing. So we did see it a couple times, and now you see what you see on episode 2. Basically the second half of the episode. It was a joy. It was a joy. I was impressed. I was nervous to watch so here's what happened. So Sean and I couldn't get together. I was just so busy. He was busy. He wanted me to come to his house and see the screenings of it. I couldn't make it. But he's like, James, you're good. But then I had people who were watching it before me. It came out. And everyone was like, no, people were messaging me like, James, you're really good. Like, your part is so fun. I'm like, really? And I was so nervous to watch myself. So I was on Prime. I went up there and I literally waited a couple of days. I didn't watch it the first day it came out. I was like, I'm gonna get there. I was a little just nervous. And normally I watch myself and everything. I don't have no problem with that. But I was nervous. And I get up there and I'm like, oh my goodness. I said, I am pretty good. That was actually, that was funny. That was when they put it all together. I love the way Timothy Woodward Jr. films, the feeling of the show. I just love the feeling of the show, the movement of the camera, everything he does is wonderful. Sean is amazing. Jax is amazing. Lily's amazing. And I will have to say for myself, I was amazing too. And I actually later showed my brother. He was sitting here and he would tell me if I was good or not. You know, he wouldn't lie to me. And he was like, I could see his face. He was impressed. He told me, no, you because I did a good job. So I mean, I I'm not an actor. I've done some acting in my life, but I'm not an actor. People like Sean do it way better than I do. But I was very happy to be on there. People are asking for me. They want me back. They want me to come on. I could be a good antagonist if we do this, kind of character. If they decide to go on, it could be a fun thing. It's like a spin-off. We'll laugh about that. But I tell you, it was a fun experience. I went home and life went on. But it was such a fun experience. And to actually get to do something different with my friend, because we've done other things. We did a book thing together. We've done interviews together. We've done press together. Like this is something different. I got to go to work with him and do what he does. He's far superior to me, obviously. But it was just such a fun time. And I just love it. It was such a great set. And it was a testament to everybody. Just so you guys know this, that people who come and do the show, they do it because of Sean. And probably Sean and Michelle, probably do both of them. Michelle she's got it all together. She is the woman. I would say the woman in front. He'll know he won't be mad at this. The woman in front of the man. She takes control. She is in it to win it. They are a true partnership, Michelle and Sean. It's beautiful to watch. I've always loved Michelle from the first time I met her. We've always had our own kind of relationship. She's real and she's honest and she's loving and supportive, and she's a great person. So I just, and I love her daughter, Juliet, who's in the series. So everything's good. So it's all good. It's all wonderful. So that's my behind the scenes. People have been asking me. That's how I got into an Emmy-winning Amazon Prime TV. You never know with your life. You never know. And I'm always a person who believes in just living out there and letting experiences come to me. You have friendships, relationships, colleagueships. That's not a word. That may lead you to something that's just something you never thought you would do, or something different. And if it's not harmful to you, I say try it and do it. If you don't want to, that's fine too. But for me, I was like, this is something, I'm not going to say no to this. No, that's okay. I won't do it. No, I'm going to do it. He obviously had confidence in me. I'll show up and give him the best that I can give him. And see what happens. That's what happened. Studio City is on Amazon Prime, folks. It is. It's out. The episodes are there. The new season. It's out there. You do not want to miss it. You don't. I said, all my friends are on. They're all good. Everybody, people you know, Emmy winners, people you know who are just amazing on this show. I'm James Lott Jr. The Studio City After Show is on YouTube, my channel, JLJ Media, and it's also on all audio streaming services. Everyone, take care, and I'll see you next time.